All bets are off! 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 All bets are off!
Hello and welcome to Cinemastrophe. I'm Don Perignon, saving you from getting ripped off. Recently, I came upon a stain on my childhood. A game so awful it gave me unending nightmares and cost my parents thousands of dollars in therapy bills. A holy abomination spawned from the ass crack of the devil himself. I'm talking about the Incredible Hulk for PlayStation. For years, Marvel has struggled with making the Hulk a successful character, which is ironic seeing how it's one of their top characters. The first series was cancelled after only 6 issues in 1963, and the Hulk moved to Tales of Astonishment, which would later be retitled The Incredible Hulk. This would be followed by several more relaunches throughout the Hulk's tenure. You see, the Hulk has never had more than a cult following. A rather large cult following, but a cult following nonetheless, which is why it has only had minimum success. That is, minimum as far as the comic industry goes. Even though everyone knows who the Hulk is, if you ask someone if they ever read a Hulk comics, there's an 80% chance they'll say no. Hulk's large popularity is due to broadcast media. So when fans found out there was going to be a Hulk game for the PlayStation, we were stoked. For Hulk fans, this was the equivalent of a fat kid having 2 birthday cakes on his birthday. Then we cut into that cake and found out it was shit pie. Let's pop this fucker in. Marvel logo, standard licensing tax. No. It's an Eidos game. For those who don't know, Eidos was notorious for making bad adventure games, particularly for the PlayStation 1. Even their most successful adventure games like Tomb Raider and Fear Effect were terrible. They were fun as far as gameplay was concerned, but what made them so bad was those god-awful puzzles. There hasn't been a single Eidos game that I didn't get stuck at a certain part because I had to solve a puzzle like finding a key to open a door that's hidden under a rock, that was behind a bush, that was behind one of 6 statues and one of 5 caves. How is anybody supposed to know that? It'd be different if they gave you clues, but no! You either had to stumble on it by accident or buy a player's guide or read how to get past it in the bookstore and hope you remembered what you read by the time you got home. Unless you were a true nerd and went to the bookstore with a pen and paper and wrote everything down. Yeah, I was never that dedicated. The opening scene looks decent for its time, except for that stupid grin they gave him. He looks like he spent the night with a $5 hooker. Hulk smash hooker. Then Hulk smashed hooker.
Hulk has been taken prisoner by members of the Pantheon. His captors are transporting him to their secret base, the Mount. Ulysses and Paris are playing a dangerous and risky game.
Hey Crash, the Hulk is free!
So you probably have a lot of questions. Why does the Hulk look the way he does? Who are the Pantheons? Why didn't they capture Hulk in banner form? Is this a sequel to another game? Well, the answer to all those questions is, this game's a piece of shit. The game starts up and I don't know what to say. Well, it's not dark as shit. I can actually see. Frankly, I wish I couldn't, but there's the Hulk looking like a green big toe. At least he doesn't blend into the background like other games I've reviewed in the past. I don't understand why almost half the screen is dark. I thought my TV was dying on me the first time I played this. I assume they don't want you to see what's ahead of you, but why did they do it this way? Couldn't they have just zoomed in? Doesn't this make more sense than making the top part of the screen dark? Keep in mind, this came out before 50-inch screens was available for every average household. So imagine trying to play this on a 19-inch screen with half the screen dark. What a fucking joke. The camera angle is this half overhead, half side scroller view, making it difficult to judge where anything is on the screen. You may think you're in the right spot to avoid a hit or to hit an enemy, only to find out that you're gravely mistaken. And I mean gravely mistaken. Fuck! The controls are extremely awkward. Moving the Hulk around has this unnatural feeling to it. It's hard to explain why. You really can't understand what I'm talking about unless you play the game, but the best way I describe it is that the directional controls feel like they're both overly sensitive and not sensitive enough at the same time. It's like trying to eat your dinner blindfolded with your dick. You can punch, kick, jump, pick stuff up, block, duck, run, and do several special attacks, which you would think would make the game more enjoyable, but there are so many button combinations to remember, they just become a nuisance. For example, X is to duck, as well as to pick things up. But to throw things, you have to push square in the direction you want to throw it. Oh, and don't try to hold the direction and push square. You have to push them simultaneously. Why couldn't I just use the X button to throw? Why would you make the throw button an entirely different button? It's not like I can duck while holding the damn thing. And why is it in every shitty game I review, the triangle button is the jump button? I get the thought process behind it. You know, the top button is a triangle button, top equals up. But the human brain doesn't work like that. Nobody plays with the controller up like this, looking like an asshole. We hold it parallel to the floor, making the triangle button the furthest button away. And since jump requires the quickest response time, your brain automatically goes for the closest button, which is the X button. Why would you make the furthest button away the jump button? Who does that? Shitty game designers, that's who. On the first stage, you run around beating up robots, which makes sense since having the whole kill people isn't exactly kids friendly. But even then, there are times when the game is just not fair, like with these flying guys. I can never tell if I'm actually hitting these things, and that's when I can jump close enough to them. You'd think there'd be like a jump grab button or something. Oh, come on, he's not even on the screen. This is a game all in itself. It's called tag, bitch. And you're the bitch. So you're probably wondering what I'm supposed to be doing since this is an adventure game. Well, I'm supposed to be hitting these elevator panels to make my escape, only the first time I played this game, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. True to Ito's form, they just drop you off in the middle of nowhere and expect you to figure it out. The only slither of a clue they give you are these arrows on the floor. Why are they on the floor? I can see if they were on the wall, that would make sense, but why the fuck are they on the floor? How are kids supposed to know what they mean? And that's assuming they could see them. I couldn't even see them at first because the color scheme is so damn bad. The only reason I figured it out was because I got really bored and pissed off and started punching the walls trying to break through them. It made sense at the time. It was a Hulk game designed by Eidos, which stands for extremely idiotic dicks and obvious shitheads. Why are the elevator panels all over the place anyway? I've heard of two in two different places before, one by the elevator or one by the power source, but there are 6 or 7 and it's spread out everywhere. Who was their architect? Quicksilver, and he designed this place as some kind of sick joke? There are the standard power-ups in every action game, and if you stand still long enough, the Hulk's regeneration ability kicks in, but it takes forever. Their best bet is to smash open stuff, hoping for some health items. You only get 1 life in 5 continues, but the continues start you at the beginning of the stage, so if you're on the first stage, you might as well push no and start over. And just look at this depiction of the Hulk. Fitting, isn't it? This is the look of every child who bought this thing 5 minutes after playing it. It's like they knew they were distributing trash and decided it would be fun to piss in your face on top of it. I've actually been playing on normal this whole time. Let's switch it to easy. They actually have the nerve to have a hard setting for this thing as if normal wasn't hard enough. The game should only have 2 settings really. You're a pussy and fuck you. The first boss, or bosses I should say, you come across are the Pantheons themselves. Hector, Ulysses, Elantia, and Ajax. And beating them is real easy. You simply run away, turn around, and hit them. You'll get a few shots in before they start blocking, but just repeat the process and they drop. The only one that was sort of a problem was Elantia, who flies. But with her, you just walk till she's off screen and wait until you hear her doing her flying kick and use the shoulder block move. Why does she even bother doing a flying kick anyway when she can just stay in the air and shoot fiery arrows all day? Once you beat all 4 Pantheons, you meet Amagon and we see our first cutscene.
Piecemeal has taken hostages. Your first assignment is to free them.
That makes a lot of sense. After fighting to escape, Hulk immediately joins them to rescue hostages. Yeah, they tied them up and kidnapped them, but once you get to know them, I'm sure they're pretty good guys. Yeah, and I bet Patty Hearst thought the same thing. Look it up. Once you complete a stage, they give you a password. Why is this password so long? Couldn't they have just kept it down to 4 digits or actual words like password? No one's going to remember this, so you have to find a pen and paper to write it down. You know, if I have to use a pen and paper to play a game, I might as well play Dungeons and Dragons. At least a pen and paper as a necessity for a game makes sense here. The next stage, you enter a castle belonging to a villain named Piecemeal. To make things harder, they decide to throw in platform jumping. This would be fine, except the programmers forgot that this is a 3-dimensional game, so they didn't bother putting any depth into it. Look here. These platforms look like they're lined up right next to one another, right? Well, you'd be wrong. How do you forget to add depth to your 3-dimensional game? One of the companies named in the intro is Attention to Detail. Did they make the instruction booklet? Because that's the only thing that seems to be done correctly. Oh wait, the background story's wrong. They even fucked that up. So you wander around the castle until you find the hostages, and you have to step on these floor tiles in a certain order to open the cells. I don't know what the order was. I just kept stepping on them until they opened. After that, you face Piecemeal. I've never heard of this guy, but I'm sure he looks exactly the way he's supposed to. Oh yeah, identical. Couldn't they have picked a villain with less color so I wouldn't have to look at this spinning glob? I feel like I'm fighting a 4-year-old's finger paint picture. Anyway, you beat him the same way you beat everyone else. The next stage is an ice stage, and here's when things really get out of hand. You thought it was bad in the castle? As if the controls weren't headache enough, now you're sliding all over the place. On top of that, they give you the added bonus of platform jumping or moving platforms. It's enough to bring your piss to a boil. Come on, come on. Come on, get up. Come on. Alright, here we go. Come on! Alright, here we go for this one. Ah, come on! Come on, here we go. Come. Ah! The camera angle and jump is so awkward. They gave Hulk 3 jumps, short, medium, and long, depending on how long you hold the jump button. Why does he need 3 jumps? 2 would suffice. It's hard enough trying to figure out where to jump with this horrible pixelated background without trying to figure out which jump to use. You just walk across. Then what is the fucking point of this? You might as well just have one connecting platform and save us from all this bullshit. Who does this? Oh, and I haven't even gotten to the best part. I found a section of the game that isn't programmed properly. Yeah, they pumped out an incomplete game. I'm supposed to jump across these moving platforms, but the game is so poorly programmed, it doesn't know when you're supposed to fall off and when you're not. Look, they clearly go into the wall, but if you stand right next to the wall, you don't fall off. You'd think this would be an advantage, but then it gets to a point where you jump into the wall even though it appears to be flat. On top of that, the game doesn't remember it's supposed to be ice, so you slip and slide at random. If it was consistently slippery, at least I could work with that, but not knowing when you're gonna slide or not is fucking frustrating. Look at this. What am I even standing on? It's like a David Blaine trick. You know he's standing on something, you just can't see what it is. And I drop for no reason. Of course I drop, because at this point of the game, logic is an anomaly. Every time you fall, you have to start the jumps over and you lose a little bit of health, which really isn't a problem since you regenerate. Unless you're so frustrated you lose track of your health. I give up. I can't get past this part. I don't know who the boss is and I don't give a fuck. He probably just beat him the same way you beat everyone else. So, we're gonna cheat. We're gonna skip this board. The next stage, Agumon tells you that the base is under attack by the U-Force. The first U-Force member you fight is Ironclad. Just keep kicking him until he drops. The next is X-Ray, who you throw these boxes at until he's done. Yeah, the Hulk's punches and kicks do nothing, but a box, that's some dangerous shit. You explain that one. Next up is Vector, who I can't beat. I've tried everything, but with these horrible controls and shitty camera angle that makes half the screen dark, I couldn't figure it out, so I'm skipping this one too. The final boss is the Maestro, which is an evil future version of the Hulk. This fight is a bit frustrating. He's constantly blocking, and when he takes a certain amount of damage, one of these stone statues come to life, so you have to take them out as well. Oh, and did I mention he has a gamma gun? Yeah, that isn't annoying at all. What the fuck? Dust can kill him. The Incredible Hulk, Marvel's big green monster, the strongest there is, can sneeze himself to death. Yeah, I really don't think it's a good idea to let the guys on crystal meth come up with the special powers for your bosses. This is what you end up with. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not dust. Perhaps he's releasing toxic farts, who knows? Clearly anyone with common sense quit this project after the first stage, so the drug addicts had to fill in the rest. You have to defeat the statues to get pieces to the time machine. The last piece, Maestro has himself. Once you get the pieces, you have to go up to these 4 different panels, push pause, select the piece that's showing, then hit the buttons at the bottom in a certain order until the piece turns orange. Once all 4 pieces are orange, you have to hit the Maestro until he freezes, push him on the teleporter, and then hit the button that's hidden in the wall.
Hulk sends Maestro back in time to Ground Zero. The Hulk's birthplace is now Maestro's Armageddon.
So that was the Hulk Pantheon saga. What do I think? This game fucking sucks. You saw it. It's a piece of shit. You know what? The only credit I can give this game is the story. And they didn't even come up with that. This story is taken straight from the comic books. So they have nothing in this game that is original for them that they can claim as good. You want a better Hulk game? Here's what you do. Go to the toy store to get yourself some action figures. I don't give a fuck what they are. They can be Barbie dolls. It doesn't matter. You pick one of those, you paint it green, you play with them, and that's a better Hulk game than this piece of shit. Dom, smash!
Ain't no sin about the skin I'm in. Ain't no sin. Ain't no sin about the skin I'm in. Ain't no sin.
Yeah, rule of thumb, if you're ever gonna smash a game in your hand, make sure you're wearing gloves. Bleed it.